Shalom, and welcome to Bible Stories as Blueprints of the Soul, your Biblical Hebrew podcast. Shalom. Today I would like to ask you a few questions. Does a cat have a lawyer? What happens when fish dies? And the third question is, why in all cultures, in all languages, through all times, people mention the sunrise and the sunset, meaning beginning and end, where in fact the sun is always there. Those are few questions that I would like to discuss with you today. And another question, why the Bible is not a history book or a book that tells a story of a family. Let's hear a song. For there is no father, no son, and no time. The earth keeps returning like coal to the mine. The spirit that hovers is there all night long. For you and for me, to whom does it belong? For there is no father, no son, and no time. The earth keeps returning like coal to the mine. The spirit that hovers is there all night long. For you and for me, to whom does it belong? In this song, we hear a very interesting idea. We hear about that there is no father, there is no son, and there is no time. How can we say such a thing? This is very simple. Since we are capable only of linear thinking, we create the concept of sunrise and sunset. We create the concept of father and son. Cause and effect. We created the concept of family. Family does not exist. And the binding of Isaac, it's a proof for our mistaken thoughts and perspectives, limited perspectives. Let's return to our first question. Does a cat have a lawyer? When cat dies, is his lawyer appearing somewhere with a document and reads his will, the will of the cat, and says, this one will get this house, and this one will get the field or the piece of land, and another baby cat will receive the furniture of a cat? Is this happening somewhere in this whole universe, in one of the languages, in one of the regions, in one of the continents? No. This is not happening. The cat does not have a lawyer because the cat does not claim that something or anything belongs to him. Another question, what happens when fish dies at the bottom of the ocean or somewhere, not even the bottom, in another one of the height of the underwater? What happens when fish dies? Other fishes are coming and say good words about him and tell stories about him and singing about him, telling how good and great he was. Is this play or theater act happened somewhere? In a lake, in a brook, in the Mediterranean Sea, in the Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean. This is not happening. Why? And each and every one of you can give his or her answer to why this is not happening. Though Abraham appears in time, he is not a fruit of the time. And this is what his name also proves. Abraham with Hay, the name or the letter that he receives when he is 99 years old, makes its value in Hebrew 248 plus 12, the highest appearing in time and space. This is 260. 10 times being 10 times 26. So Abraham appears in time, yes, but he is not the time. Isaac comes to this world when Abraham is 100 years old, but he is not his son. Again, he is not his son because no body can deliver another body. When we see a tree, let's say an orange tree, and let's say in the autumn when the oranges are ready to be picked up, we see the tree, its green branches and leaves, brown branches, green leaves, and we see oranges in orange color. And we can say that the orange is a fruit that came through the tree of orange. Again, the orange came through the tree. It's not that the tree makes the orange. The tree does not make the orange. The orange comes through this tree. There is a script that runs, and the outcomes is the orange as a fruit. Who created this script? The tree is just there, and through this tree, in particular time, a fruit will come out. But the tree does not think and calculate, when shall I deliver this fruit? The tree doesn't go to school of trees to make better fruit each year. The tree doesn't claim that the oranges are his, but opposite. When we pick up the fruit from the tree, we are easing the load of a tree. So is the orange the son of the tree? Is the orange the child of the tree? When we look through a microscope into a little, let's say, a grain of rice, what seems to us in a bare eye, let's say, as a grain of rice, when we put this grain of rice under the microscope, we shall see a completely different picture. We shall see different worlds. The bigger the lens that we shall take or put on, we shall see a different reality. So what is real? Yes, the grain of rice here on the table, natural, the one who goes under the lens of the microscope, let's say 100 times bigger or 1,000 times, or which one is the reality of the grain of rice? What is the reality of the grain of rice? Its taste in our mouths when it's cooked in different flavors and spices? Or its appearance on the table as a dry grain? Or when we put it in a shaker and in a salt shaker to observe the moist, and then we shake the salt shaker and we have a sound. What is the reality of the grain of the rice at this moment? When Abraham is requested to take Isaac, and I use the Hebrew words ha'alehu le'olah, rising up as an uprising. Yes, this is the Hebrew meaning, ha'alehu le'olah, rising up as uprising. And Yitzchak in Hebrew means he shall love. So what is the meaning of ha'alehu le'olah, rising up as a rise? And Yitzchak means he shall laugh. To rise what? To rise the laughter above all times. In time, we have a problem. We're struggling with time. Time is duality. For example, cold and warm, night and day, light and darkness. So whenever we say a word, immediately, or a situation against it, we can build another opposite, a polar reality in time. But the request from Abraham is to rise laughter, joy, happiness, humor above all reality that appears in time. This is the request. A laughter does not come from us believing to the beginning and the end, which appears in space and time. The laughter comes as a consequence from not being in time. For instance, in certain regimes, people are forbidden to laugh, to joke, to smile. And not just in regimes. In certain houses and families, children are forbidden to laugh at the presence of the parents, or at the parents, so to speak, in brackets. In places in which fear is governing, and fear does not exist outside of flesh, only in flesh and matter. Children are forbidden to laugh at the parents. And when the parents are moving in the house, they're supposed to show submission. So dictatorship, totalitarianism does not appear from nowhere. It starts at home, when people are, or children are forbidden to laugh, because any laughter exists beyond time and space. So what is the binding of Isaac? To rise laughter above all reality. And reality is not a father and a son. This is what we conceive. Because we can see, our eyes can function according to a linear function. We cannot navigate in the dark. This is why we describe the sunset and the sunrise. Beginning, when the light appears on the dark, this is the beginning, and when, so to speak, the light disappears in the other side of the darkness, which is not happening. But to our eyes, this is what is seen. This is not reality. We speak like this. It is embedded in all languages, in all cultures of all times. But this is not reality. The sun is always there, above the clouds, above the rain, above the night. Yes? The brain, human brain, is like a machine. This machine likes to eat what? Data, numbers, letters, diagrams, parabolot, sketches. Feed the brain. The brain will eat it. But the brain is external construct. It's a machine. It's a calculating machine. The brain is not a mindset. People usually confuse those two terms, brain and mind. Those are different things. The brain is a body that has weight in grams. Go to laboratories, people will tell you how many grams does the brain weigh. The brain eats everything. But the mind is a completely different realm, because the mind is not a matter, the mind is not a body, the mind is like a connecting realm between the infinite and us. This is why we speak in English about a state of mind. A state of mind. The mind is not a state. It's not Pennsylvania or Nebraska, but a state of mind. So if we go back to the story of binding of Isaac, our brain tells us that there is a father and there's a son. The father preceded the son, or the cause. There's a time and then the son appears. But this is not what it is. It's not about the son and the father. It's about the nature of our existence here. That is, to our calculating brain, it seems that the father, in brackets, sacrifice, in brackets, his son. But the mind, the great mind that are being discovered beyond this act, it's basically much simpler. Beyond time, or outside the realm of time, there isn't a father, a mode called father, the one who owns a child. There isn't a son, because outside of time, we cannot claim causality. So this is the great mind which are being exposed to us through the story. And this is not a story of a family. Through people who seemingly have a connection between them, the great mind of the Bible is being revealed. This is not a story of a family. And Israel is not a body. Israel is not a body. Israel, again, is a state of mind that comes to tell us a story beyond time and space, beyond our limited perspectives. Wishing you a beautiful day and wonderful week. Thank you for listening to Bible Stories as Blueprints of the Soul, your Biblical Hebrew podcast. For more information, articles, videos, and interactive classes, please visit hebrew.learnoutlive.com or join our YouTube channel. Shalom v'chol tov.